Hi everybody, welcome back to Midvale Minis. In this video, I'd like to talk about my week at Guild School.
Here are the prototypes from 3 of my classes. I took the prototype for the painting class and I made a sketch of it. Next, I added what we call the underpainting. Here I am using a nail brush used in salons to get the tiniest possible lines. Getting the finest lines possible is super important, especially when you work in miniature. Every year I take a walk through the town of Castine, and it is so beautiful I have to take pictures every year. This is where I stay when I come up here. It's called the Pentagoet. Now I'm going to start on my miniature jacket. The first thing I do is trace the design given to us by the teacher onto some paper. Here are some examples of historic stitching from the Tudor time frame. I'm actually going to be using the one on the right as my prototype. I drew out the vines and the strawberries, but in the centerpiece on the back, I was a little exuberant with my drawing, so I had to tone it down just a little bit. With it toned down, I now traced it onto my silk. My table mate brought a friend to class. His name is Steve, and he became our mascot. Now let me show you exactly how I made each one of my pieces.
I hope you can see this because I'm putting it through my magnifier. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my needle and thread, and I'm going to start here at the bottom. Okay, there's like the little mounds here. This is where the vines start. So I'm just going to start here and I'm going to show you the chain stitch. So I'm going to put this over here, not quite to the corner. And I'm going to come right up here. Now, I've got a knot in my thread, right? So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this around this way. And I'm going to put the needle right back into the same hole that I just came out of. Okay, now I've got this little loop here. Now I'm going to take my needle and I'm going to come up just a teeny bit past it. Can you see that? Just a little bit past. It's maybe, I don't know, 1/16 of an inch, maybe a little bit more than a 1/16. And then I'm going to put it through the loop. And then I'm going to pull. And now I have my first chain. Now I'm going to go back through the loop. And I'm going to make another loop here. Right? And I'm going to come up approximately the same amount of space into my silk. I'm going to put it through the loop. And I'm going to pull it through. And I'm just going to keep doing that. That's my first chain. And so the idea is I'm going to keep doing all of these 3 here. I'm going to fix this one. It's just drawn on. I'm going to make it match that so it's not quite to the edge because I do have to cut it out. And then I'm going to come up each one of these and do the chain stitch all the way to the top.
Here is a very up-close magnified image of what I just stitched. The stitching is very small and very time-consuming, which is why nobody finished in our class. But no worries, we all know how to proceed from here and we will finish on our own. In the next class, I decided to keep with the Tudor theme and make a traditional Tudor rose. This will be mounted to a fire screen in the future.
Okay, and now I'm going to show you couching. This is what it's called, couching. And what they used to do back in Tudor time frame, Elizabethan, all those time frames. What they would do is they would have this fantastic piece of gold or silver, and they don't want to waste it. So they're going to take, now I'm putting on a contrasting color so you can see it, but they didn't want to waste it. They would take a color very similar to it, like maybe a very light yellow or a white on the silver, and they would just lay the piece down onto the fabric. They would make tiny little stitches to keep the metal, the gold or the silver, on the surface, but then they wouldn't be wasting it, if that makes sense. So let me show you how to do that. So let's pretend I wanted to keep the silver down on top of my fabric. I'm going to come up underneath it right next to the silver, and I'm just going to go over it and come right next to it on the other side, like that. I'm just going to keep doing it. And if you want to make a bend, say you're making a vine or a flower of some kind, you're just going to move the silver. Whoops. And now let's just say I wanted to bend it back. I'm just going to go in this direction now. Now, mind you, it would not be in a contrasting color. You'd want it to blend in, but I'm just showing it to you that way so you can see it easier. So anything here, you can just make any design that you want, and it's really super, super easy. The same thing applies for these. Now, these are little pieces. They almost look like beads, but they're just little pieces of wire, and I have done the exact same thing. I've laid them down into a pattern. I've used the blue thread to attach it to the piece of silk, and that's exactly how I made my Tudor rose design. I put the centerpiece in, and then I did the 2 layers. And that's it. That's couching.
I decided to add some bees. Bugs were used a lot as themes in this type of work. I stitched the bodies. The heads are made from tiny pearls, and the wings are made from leather that is coated with gold leaf. Here's a video of my teacher showing me how to paint the back of my project, giving it a little more color. And here it is, all done. My next project was a bedspread. I'm also using this in the same Tudor theme and the same colors as my other two projects. I started out by drawing it all out onto paper and then tracing it onto my silk. And then I started chain stitching. It's going to take me quite some time to actually finish this one. Now it's time to add some blue to my sky on my painting. And then some clouds. The clouds were definitely the most challenging part of the entire class. The first 3 items I purchased at a silent auction that is given every day at Guild School. Then on Thursday night, the teachers are allowed to sell their creations, so I bought a few things. I got these laser cut doilies, some bookmaking supplies, and then back where I'm staying, I got this awesome ornament replica of the building.
So that was my week at Guild School. I can't believe it's over already. It just flew by. I go every year and I have so much fun. I like to meet new people and I like to see my friends and I love to learn new things. I only finished 1 of my 4 projects, which means I'm going to have to finish up the rest of those projects on my own in the future. I know that bedspread is probably going to take me a couple years to finish, but that's okay because I love doing it. Coming up really soon, I'm gonna get back into the garden room box and I'm gonna finish that project up really soon. Then I've got a couple of other projects lined up for the end of the year. So don't forget to like and subscribe and so you don't miss any of the content. And I will see you in my next video. Thanks so much for being here. Hope you have a great week. Bye.